Hello, everyone. I hope you're doing well and having a fantastic day. I am here to do an intuitive card reading to see what insights, guidance, and messages the universe has for everyone, especially if you have been walking away from certain situations, people, or places. If, people are trying to gain access back into your life, just to see any precautions or insights and guidance that the universe wants us to know regarding that. So let's take a look at the cards and see what comes up. Okay. So we have Unakai, live in the now. And that's the thing, a lot of us can get caught up in the past, like in the instances when you walk away from like a job or, family members, friendships, romantic partnerships, whatever it may be. You can have, sentimental attachments, you can have, nostalgia, remember all these good times, but you also have to realize that we're living in the present and people have made choices and everyone's choices have natural consequences, whether that plays out for, good or bad. And you can't go back to the past. Once things have, played out, like broken trust, you can't go back to the way things used to be. That doesn't mean that people can't make amends and they can't, repair the broken trust and all of that. But you don't want to go in blind and just take people at their word when they've broken their word to you many, many times before. Because there are people who can talk all the pretty words. They can, give you all these reasons of why you should let them back in. And, they're so sorry. And they can just, lavish you with all these flowery words and all these paragraphs of how sorry they are, this, that, and the other. Maybe they don't even say they're sorry, but, actions speak louder. And if they have been mistreating you time and time again, but then try to, gaslight you or invalidate you and all this, like, you got to live in the now. What is it that you want and need now? Is reconnecting with this person in your best interest for you now? Granted, that doesn't mean if maybe in the future it will be the best thing for you. It will be what you want because, maybe they've done the work. Maybe they have improved. Maybe they've learned and grown. But you gotta live in the now. You can't get blinded by potential because my best friend and I, we've unfortunately been blinded by potential. We see the potential in people and how they have all this potential good in them and how they could do all this potential good and like this and the other. And when you're just blinded by the potential and, memories that you've had with someone, it can come back to bite you. And, they can talk the talk, but that doesn't mean they'll walk the walk because that's happened with me before. It's happened with my best friend, and she's dealing with a very messy separation from her ex, who we're pretty sure is a narcissist, and he felt that she was moving away and moving on, and he couldn't handle that, so he tried to regain control and told her all these pretty words and promised her everything she wanted to hear. She ended up believing him, and that was very short-lived, and then he got worse to what he had been treating her before. And so it's just like, you gotta live in the now, you gotta be present, you gotta be honest with yourself, because it was like a sunken cost fallacy thing. She had spent years with this guy, she had a daughter with him, and so her dream was, to have that nuclear family life. Mind you, the guy's dad said he would even buy them a house. The guy wouldn't go through with it, and he just, wanted to do nothing and have nothing to do with them and, like, never saw them. And so it's just like, I love my friend, and I get why she made choices that she does. Not that I thought it's in her best interest, not that I judge her harshly for it, because honestly, I could potentially make the same choices, because you have, like, this love for the person. But if they're mistreating you, You gotta be real. You gotta live in the now. What is it that you want and need? Because she had wanted to move on. He wasn't giving her what she wanted and needed. So she was like, okay, I'm gonna let you be. I'm gonna do what I want. And that's when they freak out and they try to reel you back in and control you again. They feel your absence when you move on, and so they will get desperate. They will get desperate. So you got to be real with yourself. Do you want to let them back in? Is that what you want? Is that what you need? Is it in your best interest? And again, maybe they do improve in the future. Who can say? But yeah. Appetite, get out of your comfort zone. Like, that's the thing with me and my best friend. Like, we don't like hurting other people. We very much strive for peace. We don't want to, rock the boat and create unnecessary conflict, because we see so many people creating conflict and drama and chaos out in the world. And we're just like, no, we just want peace and kindness and love and respect and support. And that causes us to a lot of times stay quiet on things that should very much be addressed because they're problems. And I think a lot of these people that we have walked away from end up feeling that we don't want to, have all this friction and conflict and, all that. So then they'll cry victim and like, oh, you hurt me by bringing this up. And they'll try to invalidate you and gaslight you and do emotional blackmail and manipulation and all these petty games. And you gotta get out of your comfort zone. You need to learn to walk away. You need to create distance and have silence. You don't have to explain yourself. No is a valid answer. You don't need to go expanding on it. Well, it's because of this and that. It's like, no, you can just pure and simple say no. And, those types of people that you've walked away from, they're not going to like that. They want to control the situation. They want you available to them whenever they want. They want to utilize your energy and your love, because I think a lot of them are missing it inside and they haven't figured out how to obtain it other than through other people, to basically be energetic vampires. And some of these people, you can think that you have a really good solid relationship with them until you start looking at things. You're like, oh, that's a potential red flag. Oh, that's a potential red flag too. And then when you try to, bring it to their awareness, because, you want to have an open, honest, respectful dialogue and address potential issues, because, you should feel safe and valued and heard in a relationship, whether it be friendship, familial, romantic interest. Like, that's important. But these people, they can lose their minds. Like, one thing that happened with a long-term friend this year, honestly, it felt like she got possessed by a demon. Like, she was getting very aggressive and vicious and cruel, and was like very much emotional, blackmailing me and basically saying that I didn't care about her and her well-being and it's her livelihood, and of course she was going to do this, and just all this nastiness. And then, she comes around months later, last month actually, going on about how she was sorry, she was in a really bad place, and it's like, it started off fine, but then it's just like, we both did our best and I'm proud of us. And I'm like, that's just very invalidating, because you were like spewing all this nastiness onto me and aggression and cruelty and disrespect, and other people even pointed this out to you, and you're gonna say that's something to be proud of. And then you go and send this video to me after, like, I think it was 2 months. Like, she sent me this video going on about how my zodiac sign is rude. I'm like, I've literally just been silent because I'm like, I'm not gonna participate in these games, and you're hurt about that because I'm not playing the game, and so you want to make it about me, and it's like, oh, I'm the wrong one, really? Who was the one being nasty? Who was the one who was trying to help you? Like, and it's not easy to walk away, especially for me. I want to give chances. I want to give grace. I want to believe and see the best in people. But people are going to make their choices, and you got to get out of your own way sometimes and make the hard decisions. And sometimes that means you gotta go silent. Sometimes that means you need to create distance. Sometimes that means you need to block people. Because I've done that last year with a toxic group. And that was an experience, but you gotta do what's best for you. As tricky as that can be sometimes, but you gotta do what's best for you. So we have Blue Jay. The time is right to access and master your abilities. Do so with humility and control. And I feel like this is kind of playing into the fact that you are the captain of your ship, you are the author of your story, and you get to decide who has access to your energy, who you give your time and attention to, who can come and, talk to you within reason. Because sometimes, people come up to you on the street and all that, but it's like, the thing is, you have the power to walk away. You have the power to relocate yourself. You have the power to block people. You have a lot more power than we can often realize. And so it's just like, yeah, just because someone sends you a message doesn't mean you need to reply. If they're being nasty to you, you can let them stew in their own energy and deal with that. Because, silence is an answer too. Silence can be very powerful. But the thing is, when people are being nasty to us and trying to, manipulate us and coerce us into, feeling bad and, the whole guilt tripping thing and trying to make us let them back in, it's just like, you don't need to be petty. That's the thing. So many people, when they get hurt, they can start being petty and look for vengeance and revenge and be bitter and jaded and all these things. And I'm not knocking the human experience, okay? Emotions are very, very real. But when you're doing this, don't do it out of retaliation, because that's just playing out the same kind of energies, and it's, doing tit for tat and just gonna make things blow up even bigger. You can walk away, you can tell people no, you can, disengage and create distance and silence from a place of love, respect, and kindness for yourself. You're not doing it to get back at anyone. You're doing it to protect and care for yourself. So that's kind of what it feels like to me with the whole humility and control aspect. It's just like, yeah, you can be silent, you can create distance, but some people do that to hurt other people. They want, the other person to feel sorry. They want the other person to, feel horrible because oh, you were bad. And it's like, I'm going to show you, I'm going to be silent, I'm going to ghost you. It's like, no, that's not what you need to do. You don't need to play games like that. It's what some people choose to do, but we can choose better. We can do better. And, it may ruffle some people's feathers because they expect things to play out a certain way and they might blow up over it not going the way they want. But do what's best for you, even if it's not in your comfort zone, because now is the time for us to start stepping up and putting ourselves first, in the sense of taking care of ourselves and showing us love, kindness, and respect. Because a lot of times in society, we're basically told to cave to other people and be like, oh, we can't, hurt anyone's feelings. Everybody's friends. And it's just but not everyone treats one another with kindness and respect and love. That not everyone treats one another as friends. So it's just I don't know about that. I don't know about that. Yeah. The time is right for creation and connection. Focus your attention in these areas. And it feels like you are creating new, healthy relationships, experiences. You're making these new, genuine, deeper connections because you are letting go of the old, because you are walking away from what does not serve you, which can be harmful and toxic. And, these people, they're going to throw a fuss. They feel your absence. You have such a powerful energy, love, and light to you. You have this warmth to you that people want to be around, but they tossed out away their chance. Like, they had a chance to have this relationship with you. They had a chance to treat you with kindness and respect, and they chose not to. They chose to mistreat you. They chose to belittle you, gaslight you, whatever it is. They didn't treat you right, and you don't have to stand for it. You don't have to stand for it. And so, don't think that you're bad for walking away. By walking away and cutting ties from people who have harmed you repeatedly. It's not just, they had a bad day once and like all that. And it's like, no, like they have cycles and patterns of this. Like, by walking away from that, by cutting ties, you are making room for the new. If there are all these people sat at your metaphorical table for, room to make bonds and whatnot, it's like, how are you going to have the new healthy relationships come in? The ones who will actually treat you with kindness and respect if all the seats are already taken, Yes. Hummingbird, release what you've been carrying and lighten up. New joys on the way. That's the thing. Release these old ties. They have become chains, weighing you down, dragging you down and burdening you with all this dead weight, all this extra baggage, all this hurt, and they can leave you with all these guilt trips, like, well, maybe I am a horrible person because now me just speaking up about this problem, about how, it really hurt my feelings, or I was disrespected and it's not how you treat other people. I spoke up, and now they're going on about how hurt they are, and it's just like, no, you're not a bad person for trying to address concerns and issues. Any actual genuine relationship that is loving, kind, and respectful will allow open, honest communication and will allow you to be vulnerable and listen to you and be seen and heard and valued. And by letting go of these old ones, it's going to lighten you up. You're going to feel so free, and it's going to let new joy in, new love, new support, all this new blessings. And it makes me think about how one of my mutual friends, who was also dealing with the toxic group, had been trying to stick it out with them, I want to say for a couple months. And they were really, really trying. And I didn't want to try to tell them what they had to do. I was telling them it was their choice, but I don't think it's in their best interest to stay. But if that's what they want to do, they could. And eventually, they decided to cut ties. And once they decided to truly leave and not give them access anymore, they're like, oh my goodness, it feels like a weight's been lifted off my shoulders. And it's just like, yeah, you don't realize how heavy and smothering and overwhelming these situations can be until you finally step out and you're like, oh my goodness, this is what freedom feels like. This is how I was before. Because trust me, I felt similar to that once I left my narcissistic ex in that toxic group. Because oh boy, guys, it really does weigh us down. But we have the power to lighten our load, to stop carrying it around with us. We can release it and let in all these new beautiful opportunities. Yeah. Turkey. Honor your time of harvest. Offer your gifts and blessings as service to the greater good. And it feels like it's your time of harvest to have these beautiful relationships and have love and kindness and respect and support and, all these blessings, because you have been putting that kind of energy out. And trust me, it can feel like, we're being punished when, we're dealing with all these people. But the universe sees, and the universe will not, let us go unrewarded when we are choosing to take the high road instead of playing their games, and to lash out and to go for vengeance. Because the people in that toxic group, oh my gosh, they really, really tried. They started going about how crazy I was and how unreasonable I was and how I was accusing them of being horrible people. It's like, I didn't say that at all. I just tried to share my feelings about what your choices were harmful and it wasn't kind or respectful. But they just went on and on and on. They went on this rampage, and people were like, what the heck? And it was such a hot mess. But our time of harvest is coming, and just us being ourselves, having our energy as it is, being a source of light in the world, which is why they lose their minds when we decide to cut ties and walk away from them, because they feel it, they feel the warmth. So like, we are servicing the collective so much just by being ourselves, and the right people will find us. We will find those that are willing to reciprocate. So don't worry. Harvest time is coming, guys. It really is. Yeah. Vulture spirit, nothing is wasted. That's the thing. Like, it can feel like you've wasted so much time, energy, and effort on these people. Trust me, but it's not wasted, because the universe wastes nothing. It uses everything in our benefit. Like, my experiences with this friend who's been blowing up on me, and with that toxic group, and my narcissistic ex, like, the thing is, I've grown stronger for it. No, it wasn't easy. Yes, it was messy and complicated and painful, but I am standing in my power now. I know how to say no a whole lot easier. I know when someone is mistreating me that I can walk away, that I don't need to participate, that I don't need to bend over backwards trying to preserve the peace and try to make them happy and, tend to their emotions while I'm just being neglected and mistreated. It's just like, no, I deserve to be treated well as well. So yeah, it's just like, it wastes nothing. Even though it can sometimes feel very challenging, and like we're going through a hot mess and like all that, it's like, no, it's not being wasted. It's using for our benefit. It's either going to be a lesson or a blessing, and we don't know right away until it happens. But yeah, you see clearly now, Owl Spirit. We are seeing clearly. We are able to see people's true colors. And not only do we see it, we believe it. Actions speak louder than words. And when they show us who they really are, we're not going to keep giving them chance after chance. We're like, okay, I see you. Enough is enough. I'll let you be. You can choose what you choose. But I'm going to make different choices for myself, and I'm not going to associate with you. And they're not going to like that. They're going to, be used to things playing out the way they want them to. But, Wolf Spirit, we're turning knowledge into wisdom. We have the eyes to see and the ears to hear, and it's like, okay, I see you. And all these past experiences, all these past hurts, where I've struggled with other relationships and whatnot, it's like, okay, I know what to do now. I know not to keep giving you chances. I know not to let you back in, because I'm not going to mistreat myself and let myself get hurt. I love myself and respect myself and am kind to myself too much to let that happen. Yeah, we're trusting the magic. White Raven Spirit, like, we are trusting the magic of the universe to work everything in our favor, and know that we will be blessed. There's divine timing, and it's going to work out in our favor. Even if, sometimes it's just that tricky at first, but you know how it be sometimes. Okay. To truly flourish is to release all the tension that holds me back from letting love pour through me. And this feels like tension of expectation, like from society and other people. It's like, oh, well, I need to be a kind person and I need to give chances. And it's like, but you know your truth, you know how you're feeling, and you're going against yourself when you keep giving these people chance after chance after chance, and they keep hurting you. You don't need to do that. You can flourish by letting that go, by stop trying to force yourself to be friends and, stay connected to these people who are being toxic to you. Yeah. I surrender my desires, and I know the universe has my back. That's the thing. The universe does have our back. Sometimes it's tricky because we expect things to play out a certain way, and like in this instance of my best friend with her ex and how she spends years and years and years with him, and they have a child. It's just like she had her hopes for what she wanted it to play out, but it's like when people show you their true colors, you gotta believe them, because she felt deep down that she should walk away, and the universe was giving her the signs, but then she went against her intuition and her instinct and decided to listen to his pretty words, and it, didn't play out well, and now it's a big, huge mess that she's dealing with, and there's a lot of cleanup. But she's able to find other meaningful, genuine connections, and is a lot happier now that she's away from him. To relinquish control, I simply let loose and allow myself to be more childlike. That's the thing. Think about children. And when other people are trying to force them to do something they don't want, they will straight up tell you, it's like, no, I don't want to do that. No, I don't think that person's my friend. No, I don't want to hug them. All these things, like, they are authentic. Maybe they don't always word things the kindest, but they are authentic and genuine, and they know what they want, and they're not going to keep being around all these people that hurt them. It's just like, I don't feel safe around them. No, I don't want to be around them, But these people, guys, they're truly something. Yeah. Persist. May your ripples build the swell. That's the thing. The universe is encouraging us to be persistent and to stand our ground and to not let other people try to, push us and sway us and coerce us into doing what they want. If someone is not being kind to you and respectful to you and loving to you, you don't need to keep opening your door and letting them in. You have the power to say no. And if they break in, it's just like, you have the power to call the cops on them. It's like, no, I didn't invite them in. They're not welcome here. They're breaking and entering. And it's just like, there would be people who'd be like, well, that's not very kind and loving. It's like, it's not kind and loving to force yourself on other people and to break into their homes and like force them to do it. Like, no. If they're not respecting you and being kind and loving, they don't need space in your life. Like, they can work on themselves, they can figure themselves out, and then maybe you can, let them in. Yeah, pause. May moments of calm sustain you. And that's the thing, like, I've been taking moments of pause with this friend. It's just like, I have to decide what I want with you. I don't know if I want to continue that friendship because there's a lot of harmful cycles. And she's been very persistent and just bombarding me with this onslaught of these huge, long strings of rants and texts. And it's just like, you said you were going to give me space. And then you keep bombarding me with stuff. And it's like, you're not honoring your word. You're not honoring and respecting and being kind and loving to me. So I don't know if I want to continue this relationship. It sucks because we've had a lot of good memories, but I'm like, if you aren't able to do it, then I guess I just have to walk away. But it's just like, I'm taking that pause to see what I really want to do, because I know that once certain choices are made, you can't take them back, and it changes things forever. But she already shattered the trust many times over. It's like the death of 1,000 paper cuts kind of thing, and it's just like, yeah, you're not really making amends right now. You're just trying to force things, and it's because you feel my absence and you miss my presence in your life and my loving warmth. So it's like, gotta take the calm, because it's not calm when she's involved right now, and I don't need that in my life, so I'm choosing to put myself first. Present. May you sense each shiver of the surf. So, life just wants us to be really present right now with the present moment. Again, the first card we got was live in the now. And, if we're always trying to live in the past with like nostalgia and sentimental attachment, or, always looking at the future, it's like, well, they could do this. It's like, we're not in the now. These people, they're at where they're at. We're at where we're at. where we're at, and we can't just like have wishful thinking and be like, oh, it's gonna fix all our problems. It's like, no, there are things that take time, and each person has their own unique journey, and you know, we can't force things to be the way we want. The only thing we can control is how we choose to show up in the world, the narratives we choose to tell ourselves, and who we choose to associate with. Like, it's all about our control over ourselves. And we can't control other people. They're going to make their own choices. They can hurt us. But the choices that we get to make is if we're going to continue to associate with them and how we choose to respond to them. We have no say over what they're going to do. They're going to do what they do. And we have to let them, because if we try to control them and coerce them and manipulate them, it's just like, that's not a real relationship. It's not healthy. Like, you want to be around people who love you and just are respectful and kind to you, not because of like something held over their head, but because that's what they genuinely want to do, because they have this genuine, meaningful connection with you. But you know how people can be. It can be a hot mess, and there's all these different egos at play and all that, but know that you're reaching the rainbow. The most difficult part of the situation is over. And I think it's because we're taking the time to process and to live in the now, and to just put ourselves first, and to release what isn't serving us, that's holding us back, that's harming us, because no one needs that, honestly. Wind chimes, peace and harmony. Yeah, like, that's what we're moving towards. We're moving towards the peace and harmony. And we're going to have happiness because we're putting ourselves first. Yeah. Nest, an emotionally secure living family is important to you. And it's because you are making that a priority and what you focus on that you're going to get that in your life. Not that you're obsessing over it and you're trying to, coerce people to fill that role, but by focusing on, peace and harmony and love and kindness and respect, you are bringing more of that energy into your life. It's going to allow you to have more happiness, Yeah, crown. Honor and respect will come to you. And it's because you are living in this peaceful energy and you are knowing your worth, and you're not going to put up with it. You're not tolerating all these people's nonsense, drama, and chaos, and all their conflict and their manipulative petty games. Like, enough is enough. We don't need that, We don't need it. Yeah. Chair filled. Someone new is entering your life, and it's because you are letting go. It's because you're letting go that these new people can come in and find you. But if you can't let go, then they can't have space to come in. And it can, kind of suck, but it is what it is. Chapters end, doors close, but that just means new chapters will start and new doors can be opened with new opportunities. So put yourself first. Show yourself more love, kindness, compassion, and respect, because these people, whether it's subconsciously or consciously, know how much of a catch you are. They know how much you bring to the table, and part of it feels like it's because they knew that they were trying to diminish your confidence and have you not realize your own power, your own strength, your own might, because that means that you would stay in their life, that you would rely on them, even if they mistreated you, because oh, well, I'm lucky to have this person. They are nice enough to me, and if I'm not that good, it's like, man, I'm lucky to have anyone. But it's like, no, you deserve better. So release the old that does not serve. Release that toxicness, because it doesn't serve you and you deserve better. I'm wishing you all a wonderful rest of your day. Please take care, and I'll see you next time. Bye.